What is the dumbest thing you've done that you're willing to admit to? I had a key ring which was this little piece of plastic with paper inside. I wrote my address on it in case I lost my key. I thought that was a good idea until I realized why in fact it is a terrible idea. I suspected a roommate of stealing my food from the fridge, so I put a lock on the fridge and freezer door handles. Turns out you can still open both. Locked myself out of the house and couldn't pick my locks. I'm a locksmith by trade. Trying to drive on a long trip, Austin to San Diego, when I knew I was tired. Kept thinking I'm almost there. I can make it. Opened the windows, sang heavy metal at the top of lungs, pinched myself painfully, then hit traffic just about 20 miles from my destination. Woke up passing cars going about 10 miles per hour on the shoulder. Then made the same mistake a couple years later driving to SD from Seattle in one stretch. Dozed off going about 60 down the 5 in LA at about 4 am. Fortunate to wake up before going off the road or hitting one of the few other cars. No joke how fast it can creep up on you from thinking you have got things under control to realizing just how quickly your body will shut down. When I was 4 I saw someone slip on a banana peel on TV. I thought that would never happen. Ate a banana, tossed the peel on the floor, sprinted full speed at it, then slid headfirst into a trash can. Phoned the police to report my car stolen after being unable to find it after a shopping trip. As I was on the phone I looked around idly, at which point I spotted my girlfriend's car. I'd borrowed it. Mine was in the garage for a mod. I have done tons of stupid shit. Here's a couple from when I was a little kid. Visiting my aunt and uncle, I was chewing gum when I went to brush my teeth for the night. I didn't want to throw away the gum, so I put it in my belly button. Spent the rest of the evening trying to get it out. I peed at my older sister once. She said I didn't dare. I did. Got in trouble. While still in kindergarten, my sister came into my room seeing me putting on underwear. She asked why I was wearing 7 pairs. I replied that instead of having to change every day, I could just take off 1 pair each day. She still teases me for this one. Me, hey, you know that girl I've been crushing on for 2 years, but has never shown any signs she's attracted to me at all? I think I'll tell her I love her. That should change her mind. Friends, yeah, do it. That'll be entertaining. When I was 12 I thought it was a cool idea to go into my backyard with an axe and a can of bug spray with the idea that hitting said can with said axe would make a loud pop. I set the can down and I raised up the axe, and that's the last thing I remember. I woke up 5 minutes later in a pool of my own blood. Apparently, when the axe made contact, the can exploded violently, as cans under pressure tend to do. The head of the axe was propelled back at my head. I still have the scar. Thank goodness it wasn't a double-bladed axe. I was about 10 or 11 years old when my friend and I got the best idea ever. We loved those smoke bombs you can get around the 4th of July, and we thought we could catch the smoke in a Ziploc bag, and then later maybe go to the mall and throw the bag down, and then disappear behind a cloud of smoke like ninjas. So we are in his basement, blue smoke bomb and gallon Ziploc bag in hand. We light the smoke bomb and drop it in the bag, and it immediately burns through the bag and lands on the nice cream colored carpet, and smokes the whole basement up, and leaves a 10-foot blue burn on the carpet. His mom was not pleased. Was folding laundry one afternoon. Picked up a white shirt with some faded grey letters, looked very vintage. Had a black collar. I'm looking at this shirt and see the letters are some kind of weird font language. It looks like the elf language from LOTR in font and German lettering, with lots of diaeresis and vaguely familiar letters. So I'm standing there for like 5 minutes, closely studying this damn shirt trying to figure out WTF language this is, even asking my boyfriend if he knows where he got this shirt. Is it a band name, gift from someone's vacation overseas? I mean I'm going crazy trying to figure it out, this familiar yet never before seen language. Turns out it was an American Eagle shirt inside out. I couldn't find a colander when the pasta was done, but I found the thing you use to steam vegetables. There's no handle on these. So I held the thing over the sink and poured boiling water directly onto my hand. A couple years ago I was moving out of my apartment, so I had the whole place packed up. I had a cold at the time, so I decided to take some Alka-Seltzer. With all my cups put away, I get the idea that I should just toss the meds in my mouth and drink out of the sink to wash it down. Well, the tabs get stuck in my throat and the water begins activating the meds. I'm sitting there alone in my kitchen, clutching my throat and foaming at the mouth into the sink. I was ashamed I was about to die in the least cool way ever. Luckily they dissolved quickly enough for me to catch my breath and not die. TLDR, don't try and wash down Alka-Seltzer with water. Use a cup. I was locked in the gym for an hour during a break at school. None of my friends were answering their phones. I just sat in there for a while until I finally managed to get a hold of a classmate. She came and just pushed the door open. I had been pulling on it the whole time and my retarded self didn't try pushing it. I then got to explain to everyone I had contacted what it was I had done, so I have yet to live this down. I paid thousands for my university tuition fees, but I don't even attend my lectures. Some people pay for the experience, some people pay for the knowledge, some people pay for the piece of paper at the end. At my company we had the new director of ours come in to talk to a couple hundred people. He started going on and on about how we need to improve ourselves and work on our personal standards. Then he starts asking questions of the audience as he walks around. He says, "Does anyone know what the R word is?" I confidently raised my hand, thinking now is the time to get some easy FaceTime with the new executive. Exec, yes, son, me, retard. The entire place went dead quiet and everyone turned around and looked at me. Black lady next to me. Oh lord. Exec, how about reorganization? I actually don't remember what happened past that, but I have a job. I still have nightmares. Edit, thank you for the gold. I tried to use a birthday card that I got from my grandparents for my 18th birthday as ID to get into a nightclub. That's dumb but strangely adorable. In university I put my dirty socks underneath the makeshift clothes drying line I had put up in my room, and I thought that when the clean water of the clothes dripped onto the socks they would get a little bit cleaner. My mum sounded like she was crying when I told her. When I was in middle school, my friends, brothers, and I really enjoyed fireworks/explosions. We found some black powder that my dad had in the garage for some reason and made a pipe bomb with some PVC that was lying around. We didn't have a fuse, but I had some model airplane glue and remembered that it said it was flammable. We lived next to a cemetery that was pretty old and very infrequently traveled, so we went up onto the gravel road that ran through it and tried to ignite the pipe bomb. After several attempts, we gave up. We had just gotten back to the house when it exploded. We were probably 50 yards away in the driveway and we were showered with dirt and gravel kicked up by this explosion. We had the foresight to walk away after we couldn't get the glue to ignite and not take the bomb with us, but I can't help but feel that we had a very narrow escape there. I now believe that the glue was burning with a clear flame and we couldn't actually see it. While road tripping alongside Highway 1 I locked myself and my wife out of our rental car without any keys, money, ID. Basically the only things we had were the clothes we were wearing. Ended up receiving money/clothes/food and drinks from other people at the rest stop. Thank you. When calling the rental company we got refused help at first because they needed an exact address and a callback number, which we couldn't provide. The situation happened at 5 PM and the payphone stopped working after the third call we made. So after long hours of waiting, while making a campfire to have some light/heat we decide to walk to the nearby campsite for help. There we almost got shot by a resident who wanted no homeless people obviously. So after that my wife was in tears and we were still walking helpless along the road until we met a friendly woman passing by. At that time a tow truck passed by looking for us. So after 5 hours of waiting a one-armed tow truck drive managed to get us back inside our car ready for a 2-hour trip on Highway 1 to our hotel. My wife still calls me royal idiot after that situation. Upside, got a $200 refund from the rental company for bad service. So I basically got money for being stupid. TL. Doctor, locked out of car, lots of trouble. I asked a policeman to check my ID after he'd already advised me to just walk home and got held in lockup very briefly as a result. I was drunk in public, stumbling around the midtown/bar scene of my hometown. A policeman stops me, asks me what I'm doing, etc. At this point I had one of those big 40-ounce bottles formerly full of malt liquor, now filled to the brim with tap water. It was water, I swear. So, the policeman gives me a stern warning and dumps out my big bottle of formerly beer. He's about to let me go home. He knew I wasn't a troublemaker, just troubled, when I pipe up and slur, "UHH, shouldn't you check my ID?" I will never forget the look of dumbfounded exasperation on that officer's face. He rolls his eyes, takes a deep breath and pulls out his notepad. Turns out I had an outstanding warrant for a vandalism fine that I'd never paid. So I spent about an hour at the station, had a good laugh about it with the officers, and went home. Oh, and I paid my fine. Eventually.